There's like nothing else that I enjoy that I can spend 8 hours a day and like not realize that the time's gone.
So art is life for you.
And this is the only thing I want to do. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to make something. Always needed to make something, but then I also grew up sort of half the year in the city and half the year in the countryside. You can just really witness a lot of change when you being in a city. You don't see people pay attention to environmental change. Yeah, but then like at my parents' cabin, every year the water is just getting lower and lower and lower. It's because of dredging, or you walk out on the beach and gash your feet on zebra muscles, which are this invasive species that are going further and further north because the winters aren't cold enough. Different things like that.
Like in Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because in places of extreme cold and warm over the year, like invasive species they're a lot more evident because the winters used to kill them off and they aren't as much anymore. People living in the countryside who are getting less and less, they notice these things, but they don't really have as much power because there's not as many of them. And so there's this divide between attitudes. And I don't know, I guess a lot of my goal is to bring that sort of knowledge and visibility of what's changing into a city.
Your images, it's not like a pleasure to be in this nature.
It's a bit spooky.
It's not safe in your walk. You feel uncomfortable. Your aesthetics is more apocalyptic and it's more about catastrophe.
I'm so proud of what science has done for the world, but it's obviously not scientists' jobs to help us emotionally understand these things, and it's kind of more people in not the fine art world, but just like the arts in general. It's their job to make these things emotionally understood by people, because emotion is like how you get invested in a topic, how you want to deal with it.
And if emotions is so important for you, can we say that your artistic vision is a little bit romantic?
Oh, absolutely. I used to be so embarrassed about being a romantic. That just puts us as another player in the ecosphere. We're not this separate thing only ruining the planet. We're just changing it. And change isn't inherently bad. It's just that duality of it. So I both find these things beautiful, and I romanticize about landscape. And this whole painting is purely about just desiring to make these things as beautiful and romantic as possible. But then my other pieces are about the darkness that's also there, the flood and the burns that we cause and are making worse and worse. It's that duality. The idea of childhood is another sort of more subtle theme that kind of runs through a bit of my work. Goldsmiths has sort of brought me out of that capital-driven mentality. I've never only made art just for capital, just for making money, but that was a weird focus that I didn't realize was there. So we can invite whoever we want in, and so yeah, one of the curators from the Serpentine came for an hour. But there's so many curators that you're very nervous to meet, and you learn to get comfortable about just talking about it and not caring how, I know right now that I'm not constantly making sense, but I've learned that doesn't really matter. Everywhere that it's dark is thick paint, everywhere that it's light is very thin paint. So I've discovered that when you backlight my paintings, it's not quite finished, but it's not going to be too much different.